Are you preparing for birth and wondering, if I get an epidural, what are positions I can do in the bed that aren't laying flat on my back? Well, I got you. Here are 5 positions that are safe for an epidural that you can use to use gravity to your advantage and help that baby descend and be born. So let's go. Before we get started, my name is Sophia. I am a birth doula and childbirth educator, and I will be posting more videos on this channel all about how you can feel more peaceful, prepared, and confident throughout your pregnancy, labor, and birth experiences. So hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more videos. All right, the moment you've been waiting for, here we go. The first position I have for you is hands and knees. So I love this position both for when you're laboring and also pushing. So I always like to use the birth ball for this because I feel like moms have more movement. Both they can move their arms around and kind of rock like side to side through the contraction, because even if you have an epidural, you can still feel a lot of pressure down there. So moving helps, kind of relieve some of that pressure sensation that you experience. And you can also move around your hips more a little bit if, and you can move your torso, move your hips. Not as much as you could if you didn't have an epidural, but this is a really helpful one. If you feel strong enough in your legs, definitely do this. If you don't feel strong enough in your legs, you can also do something called open knee chest, which is essentially, instead of having your hands out, I'll show you here in the video, you can put your face kind of on the bottom, flat on the bed. And this is really good if you have a doula and she has a rebozo, or like use a sheet. I like to shake the apple tree, which I can put a picture up here, but that kind of helps baby get into position a little bit better if we're coming from the side, or there's still some cervix left. So I really like this position. Hands and knees can sometimes be tiring for moms, especially when they don't have as much strength in their legs. But it's also a really good position for pushing, to just leave more space for baby. And you can have your knees out more or knees in, which leads us to our second position. So position number 2 is side lying. So I don't have a peanut ball, but I used a pillow instead. Sometimes moms will prefer a pillow because the peanut ball is like too extreme of an opening for them. But side lying is perfect when maybe you got the epidural and you're just exhausted, like you've been laboring a long time, maybe you were induced. Side lying is great to just let yourself rest, while also having those pillows or the peanut ball in between is going to help open that pelvis up and just help things still progress even though you're lying on your side, which yes, isn't the best for gravity purposes, but is still a helpful position. The key to this is every 15 to 30 minutes, you want to flip sides. So even if you're resting like this, it's really important to just keep moving, even if it's just flipping back and forth. Something you can also do that leads us into more spinning babies territory, and I love spinning babies. They're just such a treasure trove of positions and helpful things to optimize our pelvis in pregnancy, labor, and birth. But you can also do something called flying cowgirl. It's when, I'll put a picture up here. It's when you really have your legs like out behind you. I don't know why it's called flying cowgirl, but that's just what it's called. And that will really help also just, again, move things along while you're also resting and preserving your energy for when pushing comes along. The third position is kind of a modification of side lying, but I put it separately because I think this is very helpful when baby is lower in the pelvis and you're just kind of waiting until you have the urge to push. But this is knees in, calves out, or CALVES for short. This is when you're still lying on your side, but putting your knees together and your calves out, either with a birth ball or the peanut ball, keeping those out. And this helps open the pelvic outlet. So the outlet, you know, babies come down, and here I got my pelvis right here. Baby's coming down. This is the outlet right here. Think baby's coming out of it. This is the inlet right here, and then the outlet is here. So baby's, you know, pretty far down, but just needs some help, like, you know, really getting more down here so that, you know, mom has more of an urge to push. So that is really helpful for a lot of moms, I found. This position takes a little bit of help probably from your labor and delivery nurse in the hospital, but it is using the squat bar. And you're probably like, oh my gosh, I didn't sign up to work out during my labor, but the squat bar is just an attachment to the bed that comes around. I obviously don't have a hospital bed here where I live, but I will also put a picture up here where you can put it on and either lean over the squat bar and kind of the same thing that you were doing on hands and knees, but be in a more squat position, which actually really does help. Again, using gravity with an epidural, you are, you know, you can't get out of the bed. So what we're really trying to do is simulate the gravity that you would have to your advantage when you're moving around upright and trying to do those upright positions in the bed. So you can squat, you can do one knee, you can do the other knee. You can also use either a sheet or a rebozo or something. I'm just using a scarf in this demonstration to do a tug of war around the squat bar. You see this a lot on your back, but you know, being on your back isn't the most helpful, especially when we're thinking about that tailbone. You know, if we are on our backs, we're not allowing that to open up and give more space. So I like to tell moms that they can be on their side doing the tug of war, either by putting a pillow like behind them or something, but this can be a really helpful tool, just using all the tools of the bed, the apparatus to your advantage. So I love tug of war. The fifth and final position, this is obviously not every position that you can do, but just 5 of my favorites. The last one is throne. Throne is when you basically, the bed is like this and you can raise up the top of the bed and lower down the bottom of the bed. So it's like a chair essentially. So the throne is like you're sitting on your throne. And this again helps just, again, use gravity to your advantage. If baby is just stuck in a very high position in the pelvis, this can help just give a little bit more room. It can potentially cause some like labial swelling. So a good thing is to maybe lift up either using like a rolled up towel or a little pillow on one side or the other, just to relieve some of that pressure. But again, it's great for gravity purposes. So those are all the 5 positions. If I missed any, or you want to share some that helped you in labor with an epidural or even not with an epidural, let me know in the comments below. Again, like and subscribe for more videos to help you feel peaceful, prepared, and confident for birth. See you next time.